and 2008 came. In a blink of an eye, in less than 6 months, he lost $500,000. Again, he lost $500,000. That's the price of a home. Hey everyone, it's Alvin Parra here with Strategic Choices Financial. Now, I wanted to talk to you about a big, important topic that many folks are interested in. In fact, I've had many clients ask me about this. It's in the media right now. There's a lot of concern about the stock market, and one of them is, how can I prepare for the next stock market crash, correction, drop, so that I don't lose that much money? It's a big question, and you got to pay attention to what are some tips on how you can prevent that. In 2008, when we had that big crash where people lost up to 40% of their account in a blink of an eye, I came across somebody, a friend of a friend, who worked for 32 years. He saved $1.2 million in his 401k. Let me repeat that. $1.2 million in his 401k. He was 60 years of age, and he was 2 years ready to retire, happy that he saved $1.2 million. And 2008 came. In a blink of an eye, in less than 6 months, he lost $500,000. Again, he lost $500,000. That's the price of a home. And he lost that in the blink of an eye. That could happen to you. And how to prepare that? There are several ways to do that. And it depends also on the advice that you're getting from your advisor. And if your advisor is not telling you about all the options, definitely pay attention. So there's two things that you need to think about. Do you have an old 401k, or are you currently working with a company that has a 401k? So if you have an old 401k, you have more options because you're not stuck with your company's 401k plan. You can actually get out of the stock market and invest in a retirement plan that's not in the stock market. Or if you have to stay in the stock market, or you want to stay in the stock market, then there are some strategies you can do to revise your portfolio and improve it to prepare yourself from the stock market crash. So first, what you want to do is know that you have got the power. So the first thing you got to do is know that you've got the power to change and move money in your portfolio. So one study showed that in 2008, 83% of the individuals that had a 401k plan did nothing. They didn't pick up the phone, they didn't call, they didn't move their funds, so it stayed flat. So those are the ones that were like a deer in headlights and watched their money go down. 17% of investors actually picked up the phone, they called their advisor, they called their mutual fund company, and they took some action, whether it's move it all into bonds, readjust their portfolio. So the big question is, do you want to be that 17% that does something and has a good advisor or takes action, or the 83% that just did nothing and watched their account drop, like this one individual that lost $500,000 in the blink of an eye? So if you don't want to be that person, then pay attention. Again, one, you've got the power. You can move your portfolio if you think something's not going right, or your gut tells you the market doesn't look good. However, just know that that the market does well over time, but it will have drops. So just think of it this way: in a 10-year period, and the stock market is going to do well on average 8 years, and it's going to probably correct itself in 2 out of the 10 years. Now, it could be worse than that, and it may be less than that, but that's the average. Here's the thing, is we don't know when those 2 years are going to drop. And 1 year can wipe out several years of gains. So, again, there's no way to really know, but the key thing is, again, you've got the power to make this decision. Number 2, what is your risk tolerance? A good financial advisor would sit down with you and kind of get a sense of your scenario. Are you conservative, moderate, moderately conservative, moderately aggressive, or aggressive in your investments? And what is your time horizon? Do you have the time to make it up if the market drops? That individual that I'm telling you about that lost $500,000 didn't have the time horizon. And what I mean by that is that he was already 60 years of age. He had saved for 30 years. He was going to retire in 2 years at the age of 62, thinking he did well, saving $1.2 million. What was the bad part? Again, he didn't have a good advisor that started to recalculate and take away risk. He was really aggressive in his account. He didn't even know this. His advisors that he had at the time did that for him. So again, you need to have a good advisor that's going to really take a look at your risk tolerance. That's number two. And if you're overly aggressive, then maybe we need to make it a little more conservative. If you're too conservative and you want to make up in the market and you have the time to make it up, then let's switch to aggressiveness. A good advisor will do a study with you, will do an analysis, and will pick a risk score for you. Number three is your portfolio. What are you going to be invested in? You want to have a diversified portfolio in a good account with the lowest fees possible. So once you've got a good risk score and a good portfolio, you're on your way to developing a good, I would say, a good defense mechanism against erratic behavior in the market. Again, there's nothing that's going to guarantee you from ever seeing some losses if you're in the stock market, but you can minimize the losses by being smart about it. And the only way to be smart is to take action, take your own action, do your own research, or find a good advisor that can talk to you about options outside of the stock market and within the stock market. And if you have no choice to be within the market, be smart, know that you have control, know that you have power, figure out what your risk tolerance is, and start developing a good portfolio. And with those three, you can be on your way to make sure you can get the benefits of the market at the same time understanding and protecting yourself on the years that it will fall, because it will fall sometimes. But the last thing you want, again, is for you to be 1 year away from retirement and have no clue what's happening in your portfolio. The market drops again like it did in 2008, and you just lost a huge chunk of your retirement. Don't let that be you. Don't be that 83% that just sits on the sidelines. Be part of the 17%. And again, be in control and find a good advisor to be a partner with you so that you can have the financial desires that you're hoping to have. If you like this video, be sure to like, hit subscribe, or forward this video to some friends and family members so that they can also enjoy this information and empower themselves with good information. Take care and bye-bye.